Hello everyone. So today I am thinking to give a class on view. So what is view? View is a database object which helps to hold a query inside. Or you can give a query a name. That name will be called as a view. Like an example, if I suppose go to your database, whatever we have created till now, on the top of that, if I check, suppose select start from student, let me check what is there inside. Okay, yeah, so I can do something like where suppose age is greater than equals to 20, and suppose I want to see only role, s name, and let it be marks and states. I want to get 4 field out of this table. And if I check, so I am getting 4 records as well as 4 fields. So I want to give a name of this query. And I can give a name like create view, any name you can give. So I can give something like a name called adult students or senior students, kind of that. You can give any name. You can give my name, you can give your name, you can give any name actually. So you can write create view senior students as, and you can give any name. If I execute, you can see it is being created. So now if I go to any other query pane and I can take the name, it is just the name of this query. So if I go to another query window and it can be used similarly as a table. It is not a table, it is not holding any data, but you can use that as a table. The query looks like a table. You can simply write select start from senior students. So a view doesn't hold any data inside. It is just the name of the query. It is just the name of a query. Suppose your boss is asking in your office or in your, if you're a student, if anyone is asking like, I need these 4 fields like role, name, marks, and state of those students whose age is greater than equals to 20. Let it be as per our data. So you cannot present simply this query to your boss. It doesn't look good if you provide this query. Better create a view or give a name of this query like senior students and provide that to your boss. So whenever he wants, he can take a look into the data. And it is very dynamic. As I was explaining, it is not storing any data inside. How can I prove that? Suppose let me delete few of the data. Suppose let me first take a look. What are the students' name coming here? Okay. So let me suppose delete Anju's marks. Anju is roll number 9. So I can delete from student. Just take a look. I am deleting from student. If I delete a data from student where suppose roll equals to 9, so it will be deleted from the view as well. View is just a query. Obviously, if I delete the data from the student table, then the query looks like this. We will be getting 3 records if I delete 1 from the real table. So obviously, from this view as well, we can see 3 data. Obviously, because it is a query, it is not holding any data inside. Okay, so it will be only 3 tables. So that is the thing. So we can give some, we can create some, even if we insert the data, it will be visible. Whatever you do, if you change the data, if you update something in that real table, obviously in the query as well, it will be reflected the same thing. So view will be showing the same thing. View is just a name of the query. You can say that. Yeah, it has some good definitions in internet. You can go through that. But my purpose here just to make these things understandable to you so that the concept should be clear to you. What is view and what is other things as well. Here I'm not for telling you the definitions. Definition is available anywhere. So if I do something complicated, like suppose I want to create something with 3 tables. So we have learned, we have done this we have created this table few class back. If you can remember, we have created a table like order, product, and the users. If I run all these three, you can see we have created few data here. Okay, we have created a few data here. So suppose my boss is telling I need all the order details, who buy which jeans, how many of jeans they are buying, and in which date, what is the bill amount, all good details he is looking for. Suppose if I present this order table, he will not able to understand anything, because here it is PID. I need the name. Here it is USID. I need the username. So how can I do that? Obviously, we have done this before. If you follow the join class, there was a class on inner join. If you follow that, we have written that query before. So let me write this another time. So I can write order, so inner join. Suppose I will be joining that with product P on the basis of O.PID equals to P.PID. Say, I will again join this thing with user table U on O dot, what is the name of the field? Let me check. Okay, USID, and here it is user ID. So USID. If you forget this join, you can visit, or if you are starting from this class, I will tell you, like, go through all the details, all the previous classes one by one. So if I now execute, the tables has been joined. You can see this part is coming from user table, the middle part is coming from product table, and this part is coming from user table. So I will be picking up the data as per my choice. So I will be providing order ID to my boss. Instead of PID in this table, I will be providing the product name. It makes sense. Otherwise, PID, no one will going to understand what is PID. So username apart from user ID. Else, what can I provide? I can provide the price. I can provide the O.quantity, how many quantity that person bought from the store. If I run this query, you can see order ID, product name, username, and something is coming up. So I can create an into between price and quantity to get the bill amount. If I run this query once again, so I will be able to get the bill amount. I can give a name, obviously, something like bill AMT, bill amount. And if I run this query again, so it is a consolidated data that I can provide to my boss. So now it is not good to provide this complicated query to my boss. So it will be always suggested, like, create a view, and view is permanent. Okay. So create view. Suppose I can give a name like order details of my store, and just you have to put a as. So order details will represent this set of query. If I run now to your boss, if run this query, select start from order details. He doesn't need to know the details of the query, how to write inner join. He doesn't need to handle those complicated query. For him, it will be very simple like this. Okay, so it is basically a query. So now if I try to, so we have two views now, and if you can see, if you go to views, if I refresh, the views will be available here, order details and senior students. Now, what else we can do with a view? We can insert few data using view. Let me take this. Let me take this view. If I try to insert this data, insert into senior students, say. So if I insert, so suppose let me insert some data called okay, suppose 100, a roll number called, let it be 50. And what we have, roll number we have, ace name we have. So let me give some name like Prashant. Okay, and marks, let me give marks, suppose Prashant got 55, say. And state as well, I can give some state, suppose Delhi. Now if I insert this data, it will be inserted. So if I check the real table, okay, if I check this select start from senior student, Will Prashant be visible? No. Why Prashant is not visible? It showed a message like successfully inserted, but why it is not being fetched? If you go to the real table, okay, let me run the real table here itself. Select star from student. You can see the Prashant data, what we have inserted. Here it is. Prashant data, age is null. Obviously, we have inserted from the view, only these 4 fields are visible: role, name, marks, and state. So we have inserted these 4 information through the view. Obviously, we have not inserted any age. So, but this view is written on a definition like age should be greater than 20. So, though we are inserting this data using a view, but this record will not be visible through the view because age is null. So it has been inserted successfully, but still you cannot see that data. So we can see using view, we can insert some data. Even we can try to delete some data as well. You can try that yourself. If you face any doubt in the queries, you can paste that query in the comment section. I will try to answer that. Okay, so these are very small things today. Today we're not going to do anything bigger, anything complicated. These will be all small things. But it doesn't mean you can insert or delete or perform those DML operations through all of your views. So now let's take an example for order details. If I try to insert few data using order details, how it will behave? Let me insert few data. Insert into order details, values, and let me insert something called 10010, that is order ID. P name is suppose t-shirt, say something t-shirt, a jeans t-shirt, something. I don't know what is that. Let me insert some name of the person. Suppose it is Josh, and suppose the amount is 100. Say, let it be 100.00. Now, if I try to insert these details into order details, it is saying, just take a look into the error message. It is saying insert is not possible. It is not updatable. Why it is not updatable? Because it is giving the reason as well. Modification affects multiple base tables. So if your view is being created with multiple base tables, that means your view, you cannot do any DML operations with your view. And it is pretty normal. If you think, if it is pretty normal, if I am inserting 100, just tell me 100 is being created, this bill amount is being created using price and quantity. How can you distribute this 100 into price and quantity? So will it be 2 into 50, or will it be 4 into 25, or will it be 5 quantity, each of them price 20? Even you do not know the other fields as well. So it will be, you do not know PID, you do not know user ID. So obviously it will not be possible for you. Even if I give you this data and if I tell you segregate this data between order ID, product, and order, product, and user table, it is not enough for you as well. You cannot, means you will be puzzled what to put inside PID, what to put inside user ID if I ask you. So the same problem is being faced by the SQL Server as well. So if it involves multiple base table, you will not be able to insert the data. So multiple base table, people have some confusion over that. Multiple base table means if you are selecting data from multiple base tables. Here I am selecting records from 3 tables. Now suppose if I do something like this, if I do something like this, let me select few tables, select star from student, and okay, and there was another table I can remember, student hobby, I guess we have created in the first few classes. If I take a look, okay, so now if I choose something like this, select star from student, yes, inner join st hobby, I am involving 2 tables here. Okay, so on, suppose on role equals to age dot role, and I am selecting all the data from the first table itself. So I am selecting role, I am selecting s.h name, I am selecting s.h, say, or even s.states. So I am not choosing, it is involving multiple base tables, but I am not choosing any fields from the age table. I am choosing all of them from the S table, means student table. So in that case, let me run this query. And after that, I will give a name to this query. So let me give a name like create view. What can I say? What can I say? Okay, I can say like students details. So I can give a name to this view as this. So you can see it is involving two tables, but all of those data are being taken from only one table, that is student. Now, if I take a look of the student details table, you can see if I take a look, select start from students details. Students. So it is a view now has been created. You can, okay, so something students, I guess. If I run this, yeah. So now it is involving two tables. Again, I am saying, but all the fields are being taken from one table. So now if I try to insert the data inside that, suppose one person called 100 roll number, the name of that person is suppose Bill. And if I insert something called 29 age and state is suppose let it be California, say, if I insert this data, if I execute, look, it is being inserted. So the summary is, if I write this one by one after another, so we have created, until now we have created 3 views. So it involves one table and DML operation, insertion is successful. Insertion is successful. Now, this is the second view created by 2 table. Again, insertion is successful here. And this is the third view created from 3 tables. And here insertion is failed. So what is the reason? Multiple base table means that error message you have shown when you try to insert the data using order details. It was saying like you cannot insert because it involves multiple base tables. Means whenever you will be selecting your fields from multiple tables, here I am selecting my fields. It is a definition of the view. You can see I am selecting the fields from multiple tables, from O table, from P table, from U table. That's why we are not able to insert the data. But here we are inserting the fields from only one table, though it is involving 2 different tables, but all the fields are being taken from one table. That's why it allows us to insert the data. Okay, so hope this idea is clear. Now, if I show you a few small things, so bigger chunk is done. Believe me, that's all we have in the view. But if I show you some small things, like suppose someone tries to insert few data. Suppose let me create a data for Delhi. Suppose we have seen like we have inserted this Prashant's data using senior details table, but in senior detail table, senior student view, we cannot see that data, though it was Prashant's data is being inserted using this view. So now let me create a view called suppose create view, suppose name is Delhi people, Delhi students, say, and I can create the view with a definition like as select role, select S name, select marks, select states from student where states is Delhi. So if I create this view Delhi students, if I create this view Delhi students, so you can see that here we have already created, this is our 4th view. If I create that, if I check what is the data inside, so it should show all the students came from Delhi. So for the timing, it is only Prashant. Now, obviously, if I try to insert few data inside this, insert into Delhi students, the queries are very simple in case of views. Believe me, it is very small. So suppose, let me insert some data called 60, and the name is suppose Arya, and I want to insert marks as suppose 75 and 75.50, let it be, and the state I am providing as West Bengal, not Delhi. Though this is meant for, this view is meant for Delhi, but I am inserting a data for West Bengal. If I insert, obviously it will be inserted like the previous case. For like we have inserted the data for Prashant, so same, it will be inserted as well. If I check Delhi students, so it will not be visible here because Arya is from West Bengal. But if I check this now, select star from in the original table, it will be available there. So that thing, suppose I do not like that option. Like I am using Delhi student to insert a value and it is not being displayed in Delhi students. Arya is being inserted with West Bengal. So this thing I do not like. So in that case, I can make some changes in the view. So let it be like, what is the definition? Where is the definition? Yeah, here it is. Let me take all those query in a new pen. And if you want to make any change in your view, it is simple like alter view. You can write alter view and you can make the change. So now I want to alter this view and I want to add something like with check option. Whenever you will add with check option, that means you have to obey the rule. Means suppose I am now trying to insert a data called suppose Basu, and his marks is suppose 65.50, and I am trying to insert that data using West Bengal. If I try to execute that, it will be saying no, you cannot do that because you are using with check option. These are very small thing, kind of properties of view, you can say. It is not a bigger chunk of queries, bigger chunk of syntax. It is very small. If you add with check option, you cannot insert a data which is violating the definition itself. As per the definition, it is saying state should be Delhi. So you have to obey that rule. You cannot insert any data using West Bengal. So just few seconds back, I have inserted the data of Arya. If you do not give this with check option, you can insert any data, whether it is from Delhi or not. But if you use with check option, so that data should belong to Delhi. You cannot insert something with West Bengal. It will restrict that record to be inserted into the table. So now if I do the same for Delhi, it will allow that insertion. Now if I check both the tables, obviously in Delhi student, Basu will be visible. Same in the original table also Basu will be visible. So we have to add just a with check option. So we have learned that with check option. And even another thing we have learned, if you use alter, you can change the definition of the object. We have already used alter to change the definition of a table. We have already used the alter to change the definition of stored procedure. The same thing here. If you want to change the definition of view, you have to use alter. So now, what else we can do? So suppose anyone wants to see the definition of view. How can he do that? So it will be very simple. You can go to any of the view, like Delhi student, right click, script view as, you can create two. If you can click on that, it will show you the definition of the view. Apart from that, there is another option available. Click on, check this, copy this message. So here you can see many unnecessary fields. So for the timing, ignore that. I will be explaining all those. But if you create, you can see the main line as here. This is the definition of the view. You can follow another way as well. You can use SP help text And again, I am saying these are very small thing, not like complicated like join class. It was more complicated, but here these are some rules. If you write SP help text and if you give the view name, it displays the definition of the view. So this is another way you can follow. But if you want not to disclose your view data, means if you do not want to disclose your view definition to your user, because all of the people means all of the users shouldn't have access to do things like this, script view as, create to, and like this, but they can easily fetch the record using this command sp help text. But if you want to restrict that, you have to do one thing. You have to use like alter view. Obviously I am changing the definition, alter view, and you have to write something, create view daily, alter view daily students with encryption. If you use that, let me alter the definition of this daily students. Now whenever you add this small property, view is the concept of view I have already discussed, so nothing new. Believe me, view is very easy topic. You just need to remember these properties. Whenever you add with check option, what will happen? If we add with encryption, what will happen? If you add with encryption, then if you try to fetch the details of Delhi students, you will not be able to do that. It is saying the text for object Delhi student is encrypted, so it is not visible to you. All right, so probably now you know the meaning. With encryption means you cannot see the definition using SP help text. With check option means you have to obey the rule and you can only insert the data for Delhi people only. You cannot insert the data simply for West Bengal, for Maharashtra, you cannot do that. Okay, so this is the meaning of this small keywords. What else we can do? I can try to create a new view. Suppose I can create something called, suppose create a view called student details and student details of West Bengal, say. And as I can write select star from student table where state is West Bengal. Let it be. West Bengal is my state name. So if I do that, it is being created. So now obviously it is saying star. So star means obviously it will fetch everything for the students who belongs to West Bengal. Let me check that. So the queries are very simple. You can find that it is very simple. It is, I am just giving a name to this query that is called view. Okay. So still, if you are facing issues with any of these queries, you can tell me. Okay. So this is the people coming from West Bengal. These are the people. So now, what if I add an extra field into the student table? I am adding, suppose, email ID. Email ID varchar 100. So that as per definition, it is saying select star from student where states equals to West Bengal. So it is saying star. So we have learned in the very first class that star means all columns. Now from the back end, if I'm changing that, it might be the case, I'm changing the definition of student. I am adding one extra column. You can see now in the table, the email ID is not being displayed. Let me execute that. Now in our student table, if I check the student table, we have something called email ID. Let me check. We should have something called email ID. Yep. Now, as per the definition, email ID should come when I execute the view. It should come. If I execute, you can see email ID is not appearing. So by default, what I have explained previously, like view is nothing but the name of this query. Now, if I run this query, it will show email ID. But if I am trying to execute the view, it is not showing the email ID. So it is violating my statement. So now what happens actually, SQL Server keep a schema, it stores a schema of the view. When it creates the view, if I just refresh this new view, student details West Bengal, it creates a schema of this view. It stores a column of this view. It is saying role, S name, age, marks, gender. These are the columns of this view. It stores that. So it doesn't know that real table got changed and it needs to be updated or it needs to be refreshed. So if the situation come like that, if if the definition of original table has changed somehow, you do not know if it has been changed somehow, then you have to refresh the view schema as well. You have to write sp refresh view, and you have to write the name of the all these are the small syntax. It might be, you might feel like you are full of those details, but I will prefer just you have an option like pause the class, so you can pause the class and practice all of them by yourself one by one, and then you will be feeling confident. Okay, so now I am just refreshing the view. Like I refresh the view list here, I am refreshing the view. If I execute, if I just refresh the view, so this is just the syntax, exec sp refresh view. If you just execute that, it is being refreshed. Now if I check the details here, it should show me the email ID. Now again, if I refresh this view here, if I refresh the column here, it should show the email ID. So you have to just refresh. Okay, the same thing here. I have an option like clicking on this refresh button, and here you have an option like sp refresh view. If you refresh, it will include the latest change in the table. But it is very annoying that I do not know someone is changing the definition of the table. So it is very annoying. So next time what I will do, I will use an option like schema binding. So if you use an option like with schema binding, not space, I have to write this way. So with schema binding, if you try to change your definition, so it will stop, actually it will stop your means your table to be changed. Suppose we are using the student table here, so any changes in the student table will be restricted, but it has couple of rules. Let me explain. If I run this query, it will give the error because star is not allowed in a schema binding object. So suppose I am using suppose role, I am using s name, I am using states. The state is West Bengal, obviously. I should take age, and let it be email ID underscore ID. So now I am trying to create the view with this schema binding option. These are just small options, small properties that you have to remember. So now if I create that, it will again throw an error because it has some rule. Like you can see, names must be in 2-part format. So what is 2-part format now? 2-part format means you have to just simply, it is the rule of SQL Server. I didn't write this rule. I have not written this rule. So these rules are like 2-part, means you have to mention the schema. So schema and the table name. If you mention, now you can create this view. I'm not creating, I am altering the definition. So the existing definition, I am changing it. So you can see I have changed this like this way. So this view is being created from these 4 fields. Now, if anyone tries to delete email ID or anyone wants to change the definition of the table, which is being used in this view definition. So this view is tightly coupled with this table now. Okay. So now if I try to change the table definition, like try to change, suppose I want to delete the email ID field. Like I have added, now I want to delete it. So if I try to delete that, it is saying the object student detail West Bengal, this is the view, is dependent on the column email ID. So you cannot drop the column. Okay, because more object access this column. You are not the one, you cannot decide that you can delete this email ID because it is being used by this view as well. So you cannot delete. So until you are giving with schema binding option, you cannot delete the related objects. You cannot make any changes on the related objects of this table. Okay, so now if I want to add something called alter table student, and if I want to add a column, suppose add a column called what can I add? Suppose phone number. Suppose I want to add phone number. It will be in big int. Say big int is a data type, a new data type. I will be giving a class on data types as well. Big int is just a data type which is used for the means long integers. So integer cannot take the value after a certain value. It cannot take more than that. So big int can take longer values as well. So I'll be explaining that, or let it be simply int for the time being. Do not need to create any confusion for the time being. If I execute, let's take a look. I can add something for a field called phone number into the student table, but I cannot change because this phone number is not related with these 4 columns. And that's why student with schema binding option, you cannot put star. So star, if you put star, it means all the columns are dependent. So schema binding is saying you cannot have a hold on the entire table. People can modify the table, people can do anything, but you have to mention your fields. Schema binding will confirm that no one can make any changes on these 4 fields only. Okay, it will not restrict the full table. It will only protect these 4 fields to be changed. Okay, so these are the things. So we have learned many small things. If I try to summarize that, so if I use with schema binding option, what it does, it protects, means it restricts the tables to be changed, or tables or columns means which are involved to be changed by someone else. So with schema binding protects that thing. What else we have learned? We have learned like with encryption, what it does. The definition of view is very simple. We have to just know these properties. With encryption means it restricts to view or to display the view definition. View definition using that SP help text. SP help text. So it helps, it just protect that thing. Okay. So now what SP help text does? SP help text is something that shows the definition of the view. What else we have learned? It was I'm trying to remember what else we have learned. It was check option. With check option. So what was that? Check option means you have to obey the condition of the view. You are preparing one view for Delhi and you are inserting the data for West Bengal. That is not allowed. So you have to obey the condition of the view. Again, these are not a good term to explain those things. They have some definition. You can check that in Google. But if you want to understand the mechanism, if you want to understand the logic behind that, so I am writing those things in that way, in the simpler version. So these are the some options you can follow in view. So as per the definition, view is very simple. You can give a name of your query. It is called view. It is not storing any data at all. If you delete the data inside the table, and if you insert the data to a table, accordingly the view display will be changed. It is not storing any data. Table is storing some data. So if you make some changes in the table, accordingly the view will show different set of data. So now at end, if I want to delete a view, what will be the option? It will be something like drop view, and you can, whatever we have done, let it be this view. If I want to delete that, so drop view, the simple option will be drop view and execute. You can see. And similarly, if you want to create a view, obviously you can have an option like create or alter. Create or replace, I guess. So if it is there, it will create. If it is not there, it will replace. Something like that. Replace, no, it is create or alter, I guess. Same thing we have used in store procedure. Yeah, it is create or alter. So if it exists, it will alter the definition. If it is not there, it will create. Okay. So same thing like SP we have done in the store procedure. We have used a similar kind of syntax. So again, the summary is view is very simple. You can write any query. You can write any complicated query, any multi-line query, any select statement. If you do not want to present that query to anyone else, you can simply put the name over that. Create view, suppose v1 s, and it will be all this complicated query will have some name now. And you can simply write select star from v1 and you can see the data. The same data you are able to see using this query. So it is same. The view is up to that level. And these are some properties you have to remember. So that's all about the view. So practice all of them one by one. And if you feel any doubts or if you find any scenarios where it is violating whatever I am saying, you can paste that code inside the comment box. Okay, I will try to take a look on that and I will try to explain why it is behaving in that way. Okay, so practice all of them one by one. So for the day, that's all. Bye for the day.